Hi, it's Mary with Restoration Fitness coming to you with another video that I think is a really critical video for everyone to understand. I'm going to give you a little bit of science and then some examples on ways to keep yourself safe, sound, and off the ground. So now let's talk about science. I am a nurse by training. I love science. I read studies all the time because I really like to bring the most current information and skills to the clients that I'm working with who are over 55. My mama, who was 92 and a half when she came to live with us, developed Parkinson's disease. And if you don't know what Parkinson's disease is, it is a disease of your nervous system where you start to lose voluntary control of when your feet move or when you freeze in space. It also can change how you perceive things around you. Lots of changes for Parkinson's. But my mama was repeatedly falling and under the care of someone else in the family who really didn't understand what was going on. So one of the things that happens with Parkinson's and can happen with diabetes when we get over the age of 55 is we can start to lose weight or muscle mass. The 50-cent term for that is called sarcopenia. So even though I am a slender person by nature and by my heritage, I work regularly on maintaining my muscle mass to not develop sarcopenia. We begin to lose muscle mass from our body very, very gradually in our mid-30s, and it accelerates as we get into our 60s and beyond. What happens with that is people are simply not as strong or confident in their moves. They tend to have a more forward body position, and they're not lifting their feet anymore. As they're walking, they start to do the senior shuffle. I talked to a very close friend the other day, and her mother-in-law, when she gets down to get in the car, is significantly weak in her lower limbs where she can't lift her foot and get her legs inside the car. That is sarcopenia. It is totally reversible by doing resistance training and really working on power. Now, the second thing that contributes to falls, we've got muscle mass loss, sarcopenia, but the other half of the pie is something very, very interesting, and that is called what's happening in your feet. Proprioception is the word that goes around in some of the fitness industry, meaning, are you experiencing activation to your nervous system through your feet or your hands? Are two main ways of knowing where we are in space is the position of our feet and as we're manipulating objects in our environment through our hands. There is a product line that I learned about and I'm very, very excited about from both a medical perspective and from a science perspective, and that is a company called Naboso, N-A-B-O-S-O. They have studied what happens with the proprioceptors in your feet. You have got two different kinds of nerve sensors in your feet. Some are very, very shallow, right against the surface of your foot, and some are deeper inside the sole of your foot. Those proprioceptors, when you're in their feet or on surfaces that are rough, that sends nerve impulses to your nervous system, and it continues to activate your nervous system so that the normal change in age is those proprioceptors start to lose their sensitivity and actually stop working. So Dr. Splichal, who who founded Naboso developed several different kinds of products. One is a mat that I'm standing on. Another one is a ball that you have the ability to roll your foot on or activate your hands with. And the spacing of the little pyramids or triangles that are on the surface of these products are the exact diameter of where those sensors are, both very superficial and very deep. So when I'm standing on this mat or rolling this ball on my hand, I am flooding my nervous system with information saying, hey, we're getting activated here. We need to pay attention to that. When a person has become elderly, or they have, like myself, gone through chemotherapy, or they are diabetic, or they've had a stroke, or they've had Parkinson's disease, the sensitivity of their feet begins to rapidly deteriorate. And so their feet are not telling them where they are in space. So they may be moving their feet along, but their body really does not know all of how their foot is positioned on the ground. If you take that lack of nervous system information from your feet and add that on to the loss of muscle mass and strength of sarcopenia that can happen for an elderly person, you have got a recipe that is not a very good one. So let's talk about this. Whether you are standing on a Naboso mat, whether you are walking along your wood or linoleum floors in your home, whether you purchase one of these activator balls from Naboso, place it on the floor and roll it all along your foot, up to your big toes, all along the side. You don't have those activation sensors in your arch, but all the rest of the base of your foot is rich with nervous system sensors, and you want to get as much information there as possible. So please do yourself a favor. Check out Naboso online. Challenge yourself to get out of your slippers at home and start walking around on the bare floor. And spread your toes and really feel what's underneath your feet. The more information you give your nervous system, the longer it will stay active and the longer it will protect you by keeping you safe, sound, and off the ground. Don't forget to do those weightlifting exercises. This is Mary with Restoration Fitness, making the second half of your life the very best half of your life.